Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Well, we saw a little bit of a surge overnight, but that so far has just been a small surge, and since then we've just seen further sideways action. The scenario here on the zoomed out scenario is still the same. There is basically at the moment, only the bullish one that I'm focused on, that we're dealing here with the 1-2 setup, wave 1 to the upside into April, wave 2 to the downside, and then we should get a third wave to the upside later. But first of all, it means that we need to see first this correction down as complete. That's probably not complete yet. And we need to hold 22K, because below that level, this particular setup or scenario will have to change. We would then need to look at possibly alternative bullish options, which are still available, or something more bearish will certainly come into play. What I mean is that I'm focused generally on upside, as long as we're holding 22K. But below 22K, I would get more concerned about a bearish scenario. I just want to repeat that again. What would be a bearish scenario? Well, it would mean that new bear market lows get into the focus. Not primarily yet, I guess, below 22K, but we'll deal with that when we get to it. Yeah, but as long as we're holding 22K, new bear market lows do not, certainly are not the primary expectation. I also wouldn't expect necessarily price to go all the way down to 22K. Certainly very draining price action that we see at the moment there. So now that we've, that's loud outside, bit of a plane there. Now that we've understood, okay, what is the scenario here, taking all of this into account, we zoom in a little bit, and we can see that the price action of the high is considered as an ABC correction: A wave down, B wave up, C wave down. And I'm counting this as a 1 in C complete, wave 2 in wave C complete, wave 3 complete. And now we are in the wave 4 and should get one more low. And that situation literally hasn't changed. And below 27.7K, there's really only one scenario I focus on, which is the triangle count, highlighted here in orange, that the wave 4 will end when the triangle finishes. And the triangle is A, B, C, D, E. Okay, but in the triangle, we need to hold below 27.7K. Already a break above yesterday's high at 27,500 would make the triangle option less likely. But from the triangle, we would expect the wave 4 to finish where the E wave of the triangle tops. And it seems at the moment that, as per this wave count for the triangle, the D wave isn't even in and the E wave isn't. I also can't promise you that this is a triangle, but if it is one, then the D wave of the triangle should, just to give you some guideline targets, should reach the area between 27K, which is the 38.2 extension, and 26.7K, which is the 61.8 extension. So there we should see a turnaround to do the E wave. Now that's one scenario for wave 4. I would then, if we break above 27.7K and already above 27.5, this will get more probable. If this happens, then the blue count will get active. That would just allow for the wave 4 to move a bit higher. It would just mean that, hey, we are still in the wave 4. It's just not a triangle. It may unfold as a W, X, Y structure. And these are the two main scenarios I'm following at the moment. If we break above the 28,330 level, this swing high here, then I would explore other options, but I don't want to confuse. We talked about them in previous videos. For example, there's another bullish option that could be unfolding here. There's a very high B wave that could be unfolding here. But at the moment, we just focus on this to keep it simple. And it also gives you a very clear pivot point against which you can understand where what is the relevant resistance and what's the invalidation point. Like here, for example, for the triangle, is at 27.7K. And when do we have confirmation that we are following through to the downside? Well, that should be below this swing low that I have labeled as a B wave low at 26,360. So I know it's very draining and very slow price action. I know a lot of people get frustrated. Bear in mind, there is at the moment on the shorter time frame, in my opinion, not really a high quality setup. Yeah, there are a few setups here. For example, you could trade it short against 27.7k. Yeah, this is certainly an important level. I mean, there's certainly a chance for a short trade because we're very close to resistance. So I think there's a fairly high chance of breaking that level, but the overall risk is obviously clearly measurable and quite low in terms of how much you lose because we're just below that invalidation point. Now that's a setup, but they are not like high probability setups, right? So just understand that we are in a corrective wave structure at the moment, and for everybody, it's important to understand that the market isn't always the same. I did post that earlier today on Telegram and Discord and provided some more explanation. But be aware, I mean, we've talked here about, okay, we have a triangle. You know, we could get a higher wave 4. There are only two scenarios. They both point to the downside. But then it could be a high B wave. Maybe even something more bullish, but only above 27.7k. See, they are all scenarios. There are quite a few scenarios on that time frame here. And that's the case because we are in a correction. So I had a few questions, why are there so many scenarios? And well, at the moment, below 27.7k, there's only one, okay? But obviously, I always try to give you a heads up, what happens if we break above a certain level. Also understand that obviously life is easy if we have an impulse, and then we might only have one scenario. Well, never really one, but you might have two, but both might be bullish, But on this time frame here, and given the structure, it just allows for more scenarios at the moment, and that is one of the strengths of Elliott Wave, that it gives us clarity that okay, multiple scenarios are possible here. Usually when you analyze and you have two scenarios, it's fairly straightforward. However, if you have 3 or 4, it's getting more tricky. Yeah, also from a strategic point of view and from a risk management point of view. And that might just be the signal that, okay, maybe we have to expect headwinds. Maybe we should size down. Maybe we don't want to trade at all. Maybe we just need patience to wait for the high probability setups. Or maybe I just zoom in because the lower time frame might be clearer. Or maybe I zoom out because the higher time frame might be clearer. Bear in mind, on the higher time frame, there's literally, I'm only focusing at the moment on that 1-2 setup. So just be aware that the market isn't always the same, and there are not always high probability setups on every time frame, because sometimes a time frame is messy. Like here at the moment, this is the price action, which is quite messy at the moment because corrections are messy. Okay, so just understand that the market isn't always the same, and sometimes you have more, sometimes you have less scenarios, and if you have less, the situation is clearer. If you have more, the situation is less clear. But all of that is an output of the analysis and gives you valuable insight in how you should or could structure your trading strategy, because your strategy needs to be different in a correction, compared to an impulse. Yeah, and it's a strength of Elliott Wave to tell us that there are multiple scenarios. It is also a strength of Elliott Wave to give us these invalidation points. And that is just pure gold. That is the knowledge, that you can use for trading. Whereas, it's obviously more straightforward in an impulse compared to a correction. But yeah, I mean, the value here of the analysis is also that it tells you that we are in a correction and not in an impulse, which by itself, some people might just not want to trade a correction. So yeah, just a little bit of background and, give you some help in understanding that. But yeah, that's the situation here about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. There's additional content there every single day. Some signals, sometimes stuff about mindset, trading, TA, Elliott Wave. And hopefully it helps. So check that out. You can find the links for those in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.